And now it's time for Why Did I Say That? With comedian Gibran Salim. The podcast that dives into the messed up things people say and explores the reasons why. It begins now. Here's Gibran.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Why Did I Say That with Gibran Salim, that's me, and special guest Lucie Pohl. Follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Instagram, YouTube, anything social media, follow us. Anything that has a review, leave us a good review. If you don't like this, still leave us a good review and pretend you liked it anyways. I'm excited for today's guest, and thanks for being here.
Her sister was there, and she said she's a criminal defense attorney.
Okay.
So my sister was like, wow, do you go to court? And she was like, no, I work on appeals for murderers.
Wow.
And then my sister was like, oh, that's so interesting because the guy I'm dating
I just so
was
happened
in
to
prison
know.
for manslaughter for 13. And like, it's so, the vibe just, it was like, everything was different after that. I was just sitting there.
So he's released.
Yeah, he's been out for like 20 years. Oh my
20
God.
years?
He's going to murder me for talking about this.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Exactly.
Okay, no.
And my
Where-
sister, but it's funny because my sister's like, it's crazy, how hard it is, like for him, like he loves hiking and fishing and he can't even get a license to
fish?
to fish or to hunt. I'm like,
Yeah, well.
and I was like, well, but like, that's like part of the little package of stuff that like, because you killed somebody, you can't.
I agree with that, but also if jail cures your crime, shouldn't you be able to do anything after that?
Yeah, but the person that's
It's almost
gone
like we don't
can't do
believe in our
anything
own
after
justice
that.
system. Yes, that's true, but then maybe the jail sentence should be longer so then you can do something after
Yeah,
that.
maybe. Or maybe shorter because it doesn't work anyway.
Yeah, and people tend to go back. I worked in prisons. I'm actually curious what prison he was in.
She said he went all over.
Oh, so they bounced him around all
Yeah.
over New York?
So I don't know much about these prisons. You worked in prisons?
I used to. I was in forensic psychology. I was a forensic caseworker. My job was to build relationships with inmates and basically ease their transition after release. But I would go to all the... I'd go to Sing Sing. That was like the big one. There's Rikers, but Rikers is jail.
Rikers is jail.
Yeah.
Rikers
Okay, so
I
you
know all about because I
okay,
grew up in
yeah.
the city. Plenty of my friends have been down there.
Cool.
No,
That's
but,
awesome.
But
Well,
Rikers is jail, so that's different. They said something with an A. It's not
Attica?
Attica.
Oh, yeah,
I think Attica. She
That's
said
fam-
Attica
they're all famous.
and others. And this is what this lady was saying too. She's like, these people have to deal with so much stigma, and
They do.
and people don't want them around, and they don't want, if you say you're dating someone who's been to prison, it's like, immediate no go. And this lady actually told us that she has one of her former clients that she got out on an appeal now lives in her basement. I'm
Interesting
sorry. It's so wrong.
location.
But and he
No, that's not wrong.
But
That's
he built
what it is.
himself a little like cell in her basement.
Interesting.
It's not funny, but it's so.
Why did he
strange.
build? Or is
To
a
feel he was in prison for 23 years.
Holy
so this is like his
fuck.
comfort zone.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
How did he build? That's a very difficult
Well,
thing
not
to
an
build.
actual cell.
So like a dog cage?
He's like.
Did he go to
she's
PetSmart?
Like, why is this truck mixing concrete in front of my building? No, I
Yes.
think he just like put up, some drywall. I don't know.
Wow. When did your sister's boyfriend?
Yeah.
I know I'm
gonna get-
prying.
I'm gonna be dead.
We may
when
edit
this comes
We'll,
out.
we'll
it's
edit
all-
it out if you're not
maybe.
coming.
That's fine.
Just for conversation, I'm actually genuinely curious. How long has he been out for?
I think 20
Oh
something
shit.
years.
Okay,
yeah.
that's such a long time ago.
It's a long time ago.
Did she meet him in prison?
No.
That
no.
would have been so much cooler.
That would have been
She
sick.
met him before.
No, after.
Oh.
Yeah, she met him
okay.
after. Yeah. Because he's like 50 now, I think.
Okay.
And he got out when he was like 30. And he
Okay.
did it, I guess, when he was like, what, 29? No, 27. because he got 13 years. He was in prison for 13 years.
What did he do exactly?
He shot. It was funny because my sister said to the criminal defense attorney, she went, because she asked, she said, what was the charge or whatever, or the conviction?
She asked her
my
boyfriend.
Sister. No, the woman today. The criminal defense attorney.
She asked. Yeah. Okay.
She asked my sister. She was like, what was the conviction or the charge or whatever? And my sister goes, well, it was second-degree manslaughter, but it was really self-defense. And then the woman goes, well, I'm sure it wasn't. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been convicted of manslaughter. She's like, that's something else. But whatever. So he thought this guy had a gun, and he shot the guy, and he didn't have a gun.
Did the guy die?
Yeah.
Wow. Would you date someone like that?
Look, if the guy's I believe in rehabilitation.
I know your boyfriend. If you found out that your boyfriend shot a man,
would I be more attracted to him?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Is that a boring answer? It's probably funnier to say yes, but no.
No, you don't have to be funny.
No, I don't
Really?
think I would be. No. Cause like,
and it was so far removed. It's like a different life.
But I don't think I would judge. I wouldn't be like, ugh, I'm not dating you because,
Because you killed someone.
Yeah.
Call me picky.
Right. Exactly. It was funny in the beginning because she's like, you guys just don't like him because he killed soone. And I I mean,
you guys are so annoying. It was just murder. Not a big deal.
Yeah, she's like, he didn't even murder. It wasn't even murder. It was manslaughter. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, look, I think that I believe in rehabilitation, but I do think that prison fucks people up.
Oh, that's worse. Yeah.
So like that for me would be a bigger problem, knowing that a guy I'm with was in prison for so long. Like, what does that do to a person?
Oh yeah.
And not like, ew, I don't want to have anything to do with that, but like, are there things that like I'll never understand, and are there things where like our worlds are just too different,
Yeah.
So. And yeah, I don't know. I mean,
That's interesting. Yeah. It's not necessarily the crime or guilty or innocent. It's more of like the new person that you are.
Right. Yeah, that fucks you up. Inevitably, right?
If I was dating a girl who shot someone, I'd be way more interested in that girl.
But with women, it's different because it's women don't do that a lot, as we know.
Yeah. As we know.
We stab. No, but women don't kill as much as men. So that would be more interesting. I'd be more into a girl.
I'd be interested in their story. Would I be interested in them more? I think so, because you definitely have more depth of personality.
Do you? Necessarily?
I feel like you can't kill someone and
be superficial.
and have nothing to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the very least, there's a short story.
Oh my God, I love this.
That's going to add layers to her personality.
Of going on a date with this girl that has killed somebody, and you come back and you're like, she had nothing to say.
Oh yeah, that would be horrible. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Well, okay, because I think the personality trait that goes along with killing someone is like spicy. So the girl would definitely have like a little bit of edge to her. And she could probably like take a joke.
But spicy or psycho?
Both, which often goes hand in hand.
But then also you have to clarify what kind of killing. I mean, murder is one thing. Mm-hmm. Manslaughter. I feel like
I'd prefer a gun over a stabbing.
Yeah, I guess I
Because
would
then
too.
I'm just like, all right, well, if they're going to do something to me, I'd rather them shoot me than stab me.
So do you like Alec Baldwin better now that he did that?
I still don't... Not currently, because he's too distraught right now.
He's too distraught. You want him to.
But had this happened 20 years ago, I'd probably know all of his movies by heart.
I was in a horror film with Stephen Baldwin,
really?
like 7 years ago in Turkey. And,
what? That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really funny. But the funniest thing is when this happened with Alec Baldwin, my sister calls me and she's like, oh my God, did you hear about the Alec Baldwin thing? I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm obsessed with it. It's like so crazy.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? And she goes, oh my God, have you texted Stephen Baldwin to tell him your condolences? For his family? I'm like, what are you talking about? No.
And
I
that's a
have
weird
not-
condolence text.
Such a weird
I'm
condolence.
sorry
text.
you shot someone.
I'm sorry
I hope
your
you're
brother
feeling better.
fucked
Oh
it
yeah.
up.
Oh, that's
I'm thinking of you and the family.
Do you think your sister's more attracted to Alec Baldwin?
Maybe that's
She's
why
like,
she wanted
hey,
me
can
to
you
text
ask
Steven.
Steve if Alec is available? Okay, I have a why did I say that story with you.
Really?
Yeah, this is the most exciting part of doing the podcast.
Oh my God, this is so exciting.
Because there's so much suspense right now, you have no idea.
Also, can I just say first, before anything else, the ratio in my life of things I wish I didn't say to things that I feel good about saying it's like I constantly say that's why I leave
me
parties
too.
early. Because I'm like, it's going well, I should go. Like, I need to get out before I fuck it up.
It's also with comedians because we're so
the time.
sensitive.
Yeah.
So any wrong, I'll get annoyed if I don't get eye contact from someone that I know. I'm like, bro, you're not even gonna look at me?
Yeah.
Which is hypersensitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we took an improv
We
class
did.
together.
We did.
Yeah,
This was
at UCB.
900 years ago.
Yes, it was. It was a long time
It was
ago.
a long time ago.
And we're in an improv scene.
Yeah.
100% true story.
Wow.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm so nervous.
Okay.
Okay.
We were in an improv scene together, and you said, "I'm a dog owner."
Really?
And I remember this vividly.
Wow. I said that?
And then I said, "Woof woof," because I was yes-anding.
Right.
And then I was now a dog.
Right.
And I got on the ground like that, and you walked up to me in the scene.
Oh, no.
And I remember you wearing, I think they were Doc Martens, and you put your foot on my rib cage.
What?
And then you pushed me down, and then you just kept stomping on me.
I didn't do that.
And then the teacher stopped the scene, and you kept on kicking me, and he's like, "Why you need to stop, Lucy? Why are you doing that?
Are you
Why are you
serious?
kicking Gibran?" And you were just like, "But that's what I do to my dog." And then you went home and buried me.
This is not.
All right, that's not true
okay.
at all.
Oh my God. Oh
No,
my
Lucy,
God.
you think
oh
you
my
would do
God.
that?
No, but I don't know.
Why are you
I
in
have
doubt
no idea.
of your own behavior?
Because
That's such a crazy story. It didn't happen.
I
like
first
making
of all,
up
I'm
stories.
so gullible.
I have no why did I
believe-
say that moment with you.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you're
I'm
flawless.
so relieved because I don't remember anything we did in that improv class.
was pretty brutal.
I do remember meeting you and thinking that's the only person that like feels like a normal person in here.
Wow. Now whenever I hear rough, I get triggered. I'm
But
like, am I going to get
when you
kicked
said
in
Doc Martens, I was like,
Yeah, I was
I
trying to
don't
add a
think
detail.
so.
The more details of a story in a lie.
I've never owned Doc Martens. And I
Wearing
used to exclusively wear heels. So I was like, I don't
Oh,
think
they were
that's
heels.
true.
They were stilettos. They're very expensive.
But I was like, well, that's one thing he could have remembered wrong. Like, oh my God, I'm so happy I didn't do that.
No, you didn't
I'm
do
not
that
a
at
violent
all.
person. That's so funny. But I do, and I remember feeling so uncomfortable in that class.
God, I
feeling
hated
like
that
this
stuff.
is horrible. Why do we have to do this? I hate this. And then I remember meeting you and thinking, okay, there's at least one like normal person in here.
Yeah, thank you. Little did you know.
And then I like continued taking the classes there, and I actually did a scene, and I was supposed to be, and we started, and he was like made it clear that we were in Star Wars,
Okay, yeah.
but I had never seen Star
Yeah.
Wars, and he went like, Darth, you're my father. I don't know, something. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening. And then afterwards, it was over, and I was like, wait, Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's father?
Oh,
What?
this whole spoiler alert.
But like, you know, the people that take improv classes mostly are like giant nerds.
Oh, yeah, for
So
sure.
everybody was like, what? What is wrong with you? And I was like the biggest weirdo, and nobody wanted to talk to me after that.
Aw,
Everybody was like, you're
fuck
so
them.
weird and European, and you haven't seen Star Wars.
Did you incorporate plots from other movies because you weren't sure which was which?
You mean
You're
like,
like,
pretend you've
he's-
seen something?
Well, like just going on because you didn't know Star Wars, but you were in the scene with him. So he's like, Luke, I'm your father. And you're just like, life is like a box of chocolate. And they're all just like,
No, but that would have
that's
been
Forrest
smart.
Gump."
See, that would have been smart. No, but I pretend I've seen stuff a lot. And then I'm like, why did I do that? This is so dumb. Like, why didn't I just say, no, I've never seen that movie. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, of course.
Well, you're supposed to yes and it.
Right.
Oh, you mean this is post the scene?
No, anywhere. In a conversation with people.
I do that.
Like Ted Lasso the other day.
Okay.
They're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? I have not seen Ted Lasso.
I haven't
don't
either.
Know
I know about it, but I've done that That's a very interesting. Why did I say that? I've done that many times.
Many times.
There's always like a quick decision.
Yes. It's a 1 second decision.
And the decision is based off of, is me saying I don't know it going to impede the conversation? Like,
right.
Or do I even need to know it to keep the conversation going?
Is the person that I am actually the person that would have seen this? And the fact that I haven't seen it is not relevant, but would make it seem like I'm, you know what I mean?
Because they're really trying to connect.
I guess so.
So by saying you haven't seen Ted Lasso, it's almost like you're saying, I don't want to be your friend.
I don't want you.
The stakes are actually way higher when you disagree.
Yes. See, this is interesting too, because this goes into, this like over assimilation of immigrants, and like me, for example, I moved here when I was 8.
Immigration.
No, but seriously,
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, how can we get to the real point of what we're talking about? These goddamn immigrants.
No, but I think a lot of people that move somewhere from another place, it's a lot about fitting in.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you do this, but like mimicking other people's like tonality or like accents or sort of vibes, and also not wanting to be like, no, I've never seen Ted Lasso. It's like this, like, let's all be
Ted Lasso is the #1 show in Pakistan. Obviously, I've seen it.
Ted Lasso. I do that all the time. Books. I'm like,
you do it with books?
I do with
books. The stakes are even higher.
And books, sometimes it's like, even if you've read it, you can like forget it. But then, you know what I mean?
But then how do you approach it the other way without it being mansplaining? Okay, let's say I'm talking about Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, I've actually read that.
Okay. Now, let's say I'm about to say something that reminds me of Catcher in the Rye. And I'm like, oh, this reminds me of... Have you read Catcher in the Rye? Mm-hmm. It could be insulting to you, implying subtext. Because I'll do this out of politeness sometimes. Mm-hmm. Before I get to the topic, I'll question by asking if they already know.
In your mind? Or
No.
out loud?
I'll literally ask, have you read this or have you seen this or something? Mm-hmm. But with some people in this highly sensitive world, I could see someone just being like, oh, because I'm a woman? You don't think I'm familiar with Ted Lasso? I'm like, no. That's not what I'm saying.
That's hilarious.
Do you know what I mean? At what point is it offensive?
I don't know. I mean, I don't get offended that easily, but yeah, like as a woman, I don't get offended that easily.
If I'm talking to an immigrant of a different ethnicity, and at what point am I being racist by asking that?
By asking if they've seen Ted Lasso?
No, but I was taking an airplane in the sky. Do you guys have skies? I don't know.
So it's funny because yesterday, my boyfriend and I met some landlords because we're thinking of possibly moving in together. And so we looked at this apartment. We're like, okay, let's go.
I want to guess their ethnicity off the top. Russian?
No.
It's a great New York game.
It is
Guess the ethnicity of the landlord. Eastern Europe.
Nope.
Jewish?
No.
That's kind of Eastern
Italian
Europe.
American.
Oh, interesting.
So we go, I'm Jewish.
Okay. I thought you were Irish.
What?
You're not Irish?
You're fucking with me.
I swear to God, I'm not fucking with you.
Really? Irish?
Yeah.
No, my dad's German, my mom's Romanian.
Your whole show at Tiny Cupboard had a potato on the stool.
Because it was National Potato Day.
Okay.
And also, that's so racist against Irish people.
But it was a potato. Or is it culturally aware that I know shit with potatoes went down in Ireland, and I thought you were just like, in tribute to my people.
What?
I'll pour potato out.
I'm so not Irish.
Okay.
No,
I
I'm
didn't
not
know
Irish.
that. I thought you were Irish.
No. I'm a
Holy
German.
shit. I was wondering because I was like, Pohl
Jewish,
doesn't.
Romanian.
I don't know a lot about Irish last names, but
No,
that doesn't
Opol. It would have had to have been Opol.
oh yeah, O apostrophe Pohl.
Oh, apostrophe.
Okay. Okay.
Polahan.
This is so
Oh,
interesting.
Polahan. So anyway, so we're sitting there, Italian Americans, huge cross on the wall.
Yeah.
And we're talking and stuff, and then the guy's like, and then we're like, oh, we're wondering, would you be able to come down on the rent at all? And he's like, whoa, what'd you have in mind? And I take over because Tom's the one who's like, would you be able to come down? And I'm like, well, this and that. And we had thought that, we would maybe end up at 24. So, there's a broker fee and there's utilities and stuff. So it's a little bit high. So maybe we'd do something like 22.50, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
He looks at his wife and he goes, what is she? I don't understand what she's saying. Looks back at me. Already I can tell he's annoyed that as a woman I'm talking to him like this, right? About money. And then his wife is like, well, she's saying, I'm like, okay, I'll explain it to you again. So I explained it to him again, laid it out for him. He looks at his wife and he goes, what's her last name again? And she goes, yeah, you sure it's not Schwartz or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. And they weren't Jewish. They were Italian American.
They were Italian
They didn't have the credibility to do that.
No, they didn't have the credibility.
Because if they were Jewish...
If they were Jewish, they wouldn't say something like that. Like, why would you say something like that? That's so like.
So what did you say back?
It's a Jewish thing to want a deal. Go fuck yourself. And also like this is a situation that always happens to me, of course, where it's like, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have said that.
Yeah,
because
that's
I was
really
so
annoying.
shocked.
Yeah.
That like people still say shit like that out loud.
Yet they still had some cultural awareness that Schwartz is a Jewish name.
Well, but they if you would say to them, you're anti-Semitic, they'd be like, what are you talking about? All of our Jewish friends are bankers. They're all like that.
Yeah.
Like they would never think that they're.
What did you say back? If that happened to me.
Yeah, what would you have said? Are you equipped like that? Are you fast like that?
I would have been very annoyed.
I was very annoyed.
I still want to hear the end of the story. I remember in college, there was something on the news. I was in like the cafeteria, and there's something on the news with brown people in the news. It wasn't good. Rarely is it good. The best thing that we've had in the last 15 years is that Cowpen is gay. And some dude, and then he looked at me because there was like a TV in the car, and he looked at me and he said something. I don't even know if the guys on the news were Pakistani. I'm Pakistani, born in America, ethnically Pak. And he looked at me and he said something about like, yo, what's up with your boys? I didn't even know the dude though. It pissed me off. I was like, fuck you. I don't know you. You can't say that.
Yeah.
If that was like my best friend,
right?
If that was my group of friends, they could say it because then it's funny. But I didn't even know the dude. I was like, "Fuck you."
So you said "fuck you"?
No, I said I just like got a waffle.
Yeah, exactly. You were like, "Thank you, nice to meet you."
And I got back at him by using extra syrup. That's that's how he felt it. He's like, "Wow, that's a lot of syrup, bro." And I'm like, "Yeah, these are my people." I don't. Wait, so what did you want to say back?
In retrospect, like the person I want to be is like, what the fuck did you just say? You fucking piece of shit. Then I talked to my dad, and my dad was like, my dad has this like funny accent in English and stuff. So he was like, you should have said to him, you're more Jewish than me, because he wouldn't come down on the price,
Yeah.
But I wish I would have just said like, oh, yeah. Actually, I am Jewish.
Yeah.
Just to like make him
That
feel
would have been perfect.
super uncomfortable and just have it hang there. Because the fucked up thing about those situations, is that not only do you have to hear something like that, but also now you have to be the one to like know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it creates a new social dynamic that somehow you have to be responsible for.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of a good exercise, because I think you can learn to be faster in those situations.
Yeah, but also I think there's a reason you aren't so. We always do this, like in retrospect, like, oh, I fucking wish I said that. But you're also exercising a level of self-control.
That's true.
That you've established over life for a reason.
That's true. That's true.
Because in that situation, you could, let's say you did call him out. Your end goal was to get a better deal on this apartment.
Yeah.
So ultimately, if that's the goal, what serves that better?
And also, though, your goal was not to get into a fight with someone.
Yeah.
You know, like I walked in there and I'm not like looking to fucking call people out.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, isn't it? Where it's like now I have to like enter into like a hostile situation with you.
It shouldn't be a flight or fight situation, but it becomes one.
But anyway, so that was a not, I wish I didn't say that. I wish I did say that situation.
Do you have a situation in life, doesn't have to be recent, why did it like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have said that? Or
I have
like,
so many.
Maybe it's like an intense social an ex.
I have
like,
so many, you have no idea. And it like the earliest one I can remember is when I was like 5. We were at a restaurant and I got up on the table and started yelling. It was like a big group of my parents and their friends. Luckily, they're actors and artists, and so that was lucky for me.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I was like this then already, but I got up on the table and I started yelling to everybody that I have a fat vagina. And then I pulled my pants down.
Did you have a fat vagina?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't pass judgment now.
Yeah.
That was what
That's
I
amazing.
thought back then.
Yeah.
This is also kind of funny, but I did think like, why did I have to like, this is like some sort of weird Tourette's syndrome that I have or something. Not to minimize people who actually have that. Obviously, I'm just, saying it because it feels like it was not controlled. I went to Kuwait and they picked me up at the airport.
This was the sequel to the Stephen Baldwin movie, right?
But yeah, exactly. It should have been Snakes in Kuwait.
Okay, interesting.
No, so this guy picked me up from the airport and I'm in the car with him.
It was Samuel L. Jackson.
It was Samuel L. Jackson.
Snakes in Kuwait.
And he's like, hey. And then I don't know why, but there was like a moment of silence, which also is something I cannot have, just a moment of silence without saying something. I just can't sit in a moment of silence. And I said, you guys hate Jews, right?
You said that to the driver in the car. That was your opener. You led with that.
Yeah.
And what?
Immediately I was like, that was like kind of funny in my head. Like I thought like kind of like, oh, this is all right. Like this is like an icebreaker.
That's something I would do.
And this is not an icebreaker.
Yeah.
No, with Jews.
No, with Jews. But I mean, I would say so. And how did they respond?
He actually responded well. He said, he just kept driving and he went, we do not hate the Jews. We only hate the Zionists.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, that's fair. And then it was just so awkward. And just then after that, there was nowhere really to go. It was like.
Did it become a political conversation after that?
No, we didn't really have a big conversation.
Do you think he knew you were Jewish?
See, that's the thing, because then I realized like, I don't particularly want to say I'm Jewish here.
No.
So I was like, why did you, it's like, that's why I'm saying it was like, it felt like a Tourette's thing. Cause I'm like, why did I say that when this whole time I'm like, because if you have an Israeli stamp in your passport, they like don't let you in.
Yeah.
So like, it's a pretty, and like you're aware of it. So I was like, I'm just not gonna go into that. Cause I didn't grow up religiously either. It's not like, I'm Jewish by like heritage and stuff, but I'm not religious.
I think I know why you said that.
Really? Why?
Well, my interpretation is this is something you were acutely aware of, the stamp, the passport, and you're in a brand new environment. You're very foreign to it. And anytime you're in a new environment, I think your sense of fear is increased. And sometimes how we address fear is by articulating it out loud.
Right.
And you saying, you guys hate Jews, you're almost looking for someone to assuage your fear and minimize it. So
Yeah,
you're dressing
that's
an
true,
elephant in the
probably.
room, but the elephant in the room is really your emotion.
And it's a Jewish elephant.
It's a very Jewish elephant.
Little yarmulke.
Yes. The last name was Schwartz.
Yeah, exactly. Very cheap.
And you're saying it out loud because you're trying to, it's almost cathartic for you, and you're hoping for someone to just be like, no.
Yeah.
Or only some of the Jews, specifically the Zionists. Like,
Right.
which
Yeah,
wasn't
you know,
really-
you're
yeah.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
And
think
so
you're
it
right.
was just, it must have been just a really quiet drive.
It was a very quiet drive. And then I just spent the whole rest of the evening going, why, you idiot? Why? You could have just asked what's like the food everybody
Well, when he
eats
said
here.
the Zionist thing, what did you say?
I said, oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're indicating that you were joking, that he's joking back, but he wasn't joking.
He wasn't joking. And it's kind of fair because like the Zionist thing is like,
Yeah.
you know, it's tough.
It's a hot topic.
Not a hot topic, but also, you know, it's divisive.
Yeah.
Like the Zionists.
I don't know
Please
that
don't kill me.
much.
It's a
about
divisive
all
thing.
the
So
details.
I'm not. It's like something where it's like okay. And then I also thought it was kind of funny to like respond to something like that with like, no, we only hate a certain group. You know, it's kind of funny, like to say
Not all
that.
of you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then I immediately was so mortified. I was like, why? And then
Yeah.
I just shut down.
I mean, that's only the way to play it at that point. It's not like you have a relationship with the driver.
No,
It's not like you're going to see him again.
that's true. Although he did drive me back to the airport when I left.
Yeah, but the level of conflict isn't that much. Not between Palestine and Israel, but between you and the driver.
That's true. That's true.
My first relationship, I don't think she'll ever watch this podcast. I have a why did I say that moment that bothered me a lot.
Okay.
That was uncalled for. See, my moments, I'm scared of telling them.
Like in public, you mean?
Yeah, which is why it's difficult to ask someone else because you're sharing a vulnerable moment. Okay. I guess if I don't specify which relationship it was.
I think it's fine.
So it was my first relationship, and no.
You can also hide your story.
It was
from her.
specifically in the year and the month and the time. No, okay, so I was in a relationship, and the girl was awfully close to her cousin, male cousin.
Okay.
Like,
Oh no, is it an incest joke?
no.
Oh, okay.
It's not a joke. This
It's not
is
even
what
a
happened.
joke.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, but it was. I mean, it wasn't a joke you made to her.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't.
Okay.
It was worse.
Oh.
But she was awfully close with her cousin. I don't know how people in different cultures, and sometimes they're like, all right, but like in the culture that you're from, if you're too close to your cousin, like at what is the distance between relationship, dating, and fucking, and just cousins? But it was a little too much to the point where there's like it's almost like if you have a controlling boyfriend, you're like reporting your activities and times and stuff like that.
Wow.
So to me it felt there was a little bit of that with her male cousin.
Wow.
And I think something happened. There's multiple times where he got really mad and then just like ghosted her, which had a huge impact on her.
Oh my God.
But also, as I'm exploring this out loud, also it's a very difficult because she wasn't born in America. Mm-hmm. It's also difficult when you're in a new country, because I forget on my end, having been born in America, when someone's visiting, they're not even visiting, but they're living in a new country. Your social circle is minimized. And the connections that you have within your American social circle are not going to be as strong as family.
Right.
And if you have family living here, that's going to be a lot of your support system.
Okay.
So, not that it's positive, but I think you're more willing to bend your back Is that a term?
Bend over backwards.
Bend over backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Bend
also
your
includes
back?
if you're bending over backwards, you're bending your back with it.
You should be.
You're
at
more
least.
likely to bend over backwards for someone who has more value in your support system. I don't know what happened between her and her cousin, but I definitely think there was something. Maybe there was a push involved, or I don't recall.
Like a physical push?
Something like that.
Okay.
Because there must have been, because it prompted me during the breakup, and this was, I had no relationship skills. Do you guys
I'm
feel
nervous.
suspense?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, yeah. So I killed it. No, okay, that's not. I'm just going with this. No. So during the breakup, I was very upset. Wow, this could go anywhere.
This could go anywhere.
Sounds like an episode on you. During the breakup, so she had gotten me sunglasses, very nice sunglasses. I still have them. You can keep things from your ex if they look cool.
Yeah.
They're very nice sunglasses, and I was giving them back to her.
Oh.
And yeah, it was a fucked up thing that I said. And I felt genuine remorse for a long time that I said this. It was a very big relationship to me. I did not know how to. And I gave her the sunglasses, and she's like, no, you keep them. And I said, I think you should keep them because you can cover up your eye if your cousin hits you. Fuck. That's what I said.
Wow. But that was kind of a joke, wasn't it? It was coming from a place of
It was coming
humor.
from a place where my heart was broken, and
But you weren't serious that she should use them to cover up her eye. Right.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't think that situation was actually going to happen.
Right. Okay.
I think I was communicating to her my dissatisfaction with their relationship.
Right. Of course.
And
it was a dig.
It was a dig.
Yeah, it was a dig.
And in that dig, I was communicating my dissatisfaction for the relationship and my own fear
And
of
you're
their
hurt.
dynamic.
Yeah.
And that I didn't think it was appropriate. And all that to say, what I said was fucking mean. And I felt bad about that. Like, that was a fucked up thing to say, right? Sophia Mendoza, our PA, is cringing. She's literally
That's a
taking
fucked up
off
thing
her
to say.
rings and making a fist.
What did she say back though?
She went, get out. But here's the thing. You still have the glasses. So
do.
she either threw them at you.
The ironic
She
thing
slid
is
them across
she
the
gave
table.
me a black eye, and then I wore the glasses so no
course.
one would know. No,
Yeah.
I think she felt bad about the breakup because we reconnected years after, and she sent a really nice email. At that point, I had moved on, but it took me years to move on from this relationship. In that moment, I think there were so many words being exchanged. I don't even remember what she said back. But there's when you're arguing with someone, there's it's like Fast and Furious. Like every scene is 2 seconds in a helicopter. I don't know what I'm doing with it. But,
2
but,
seconds in a helicopter.
so this is an emotional
Crashing.
support
Cookie
thing
pillow?
that I'm holding. I'm feeling very vulnerable.
are?
It's an emotional support cookie.
Really?
Yeah, I call them that. No one else calls them, and everyone's just confused as to why they're there.
So funny.
I said that to her. I felt genuinely remorseful and bad. And here's the thing. I'm actually very acute to domestic violence. Also, my mom she still works, ran an organization to help people from the Middle East and South Asia going through domestic violence, to help them. Oftentimes the women are dependent on a logistical level, whether it's citizenship, financially, control of the kids. So I've lived a lot of my life around that world.
Yeah.
So the fact that I said that is very insensitive. And I felt pretty bad. And I don't think I ever mentioned, I don't think I brought that up. I think she glossed over it, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you apologize when you reconnected? Did you apologize?
No,
Apologize
I didn't bring
now.
that up. I didn't bring it up. Also, it was like a long message, and
I feel like she should be here. Like this door should open and
was
she
so-
walks out, and then now you can apologize to her. Or we could do like a psychological, what is that called? Aufstellung, I think it's a German psychology thing that you do where you make other people the people in your life, and then like I can stand here and then you can be like, I'm so sorry I did that.
Yeah. I didn't. So I was mad at her for like a couple years. But also in the early relationships, my relationship skills were so stupid. I wasn't a bad boyfriend. I was a good boyfriend. I've always been a good boyfriend. I'm a pretty sensitive partner and aware, and I've gotten only more and more like empathetic and stuff. But I was good. I was caring, all that stuff. Why am I saying that?
Because you
feel
want to
guilty.
redeem yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you feel guilty. You still feel
But
it.
I had a lot of anger towards her.
Yeah, of
course.
course.
I was also staying at her place, so I had to quickly like find a way to like. And then I left the country for a job in psychology at a weight loss camp. And I was just by myself with all these foreigners.
Ugh.
And I'm
All
like,
those foreigners.
and I was still processing everything, because a breakup changes your life like in the moment. And if your life separately changes within a week, you're very confused.
Yes.
But I guess I was probably really upset, and I felt all those feelings. I blamed all those feelings on how I felt currently based off of her decision. Anyways, I didn't apologize I think she apologized to me. Keep in mind, that's not the only thing in the relationship.
That you said ever? You
No,
didn't speak
but that was
for
the
9
meanest
years,
thing.
and then he said that.
That was the meanest thing I said.
I mean...
And then years later, when there was exchange, I think it was on Facebook, and it was like a really long message. And at that point, kind of like apologetic and I think when you're in a relationship and it's a good relationship, when it ends later down the line, I think some women and some men start appreciating that person more when they start dating other people.
Of course.
And they're like,
oh,
so you were pretty cool.
That was really
nice.
good.
So that was the kind of message that I got
from her.
Yeah.
Right.
But I had moved on at that point.
Yeah.
So I think I sent a message
You were
back.
like,
I wasn't trying
new phone, who dis?
Yeah. I wasn't trying to get into the details of how are you?
Right,
And
right.
it took me a while to move on, so I didn't want to move back in.
No, of course not.
So there was no apology on my end
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
would say if she was here, I would say, hey, we had some good times. I was also very immature, and I learned a lot. And it's weird because I'm looking at your shadow, and Lucie's shadow. And I'm sorry I said that thing to you. She won't know what I'm referring to. I think she glossed over it.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because
But
it was
out of
worse for you than for her.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. But I think it was worse for you because it encompassed all these terrible feelings you had in one sentence, in one lashing out. And it probably made you, in retrospect, realize how hurt and how complicated that whole hurt was for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I did that. I said that. Why did where did that come from?
I think the difficulty is, and I think there's different levels. People have different levels of empathy. I think I have a high level of empathy. The problem with that is, there's many problems to that. Is also
many problems to that.
As a human being, you're going to say or do fucked up shit.
Yes.
By default. You can't not. But if you're high empathy, you'll live in your own guilt.
Yeah.
Or you'll feel the effect of what you said as if you said it to yourself.
Yes.
So I guess in a way, almost, I responded emotionally to me saying that as if she said it to me. Like,
because you
maybe
said it to yourself, though. That's what I mean. You basically said it to yourself, and with that, you expressed all these emotions, and then it's like,
yeah,
because you like looked in this mirror, basically.
Yeah.
Like, or it like came back to you.
I think
you know?
I felt how maybe she might have glossed over it, but I felt how, she was supposed to feel.
Why didn't you feel that way?
This isn't supposed to be more fucked up, but that was really my devious body and brain responding, saying, no, that was supposed to be how you respond. So this is.
But it's also
take a note.
It's also
I feel bad,
weird
but you should be feeling
because
this bad.
I feel like sometimes I remember I was with a guy for like almost 13 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then he got released.
Exactly.
Keep it in the family.
And we broke up, and it was like at first like a kind of a bad breakup and everything, and now we're friends, and you know, it's all good. But he said to me, he was very hurt because I hurt him, and that it was bad. And he said to me at one point, I sacrificed my happiness for you. And that hurt me so much. I thought that was such a mean and like awful and just like
it's
it was
very
like
well worded. Doesn't justify
He's
the
a poet.
aftermath.
And then it's been years now and stuff, and we're friends, and so like I talked to him about it once, and he couldn't even remember saying that.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like that's like kind of the
That's the
reverse of
opposite,
the situation you're describing, but
He
it's
detached. I attached.
but it's also kind of interesting because you said something that didn't actually land that heavily with her.
No.
But you meant it. For you, it had a lot of meaning behind it.
I think she could tell how hurt I was in the situation because I was on the receiving end.
Right.
So
she was able to contextualize it, you think?
Probably in the moment, she already had preemptive guilt.
Oh, okay.
So she was ready
to take the hit, to
She
take
was
the
like,
blows.
I know this is not gonna go well. It wasn't it wasn't like a physical argument.
And you were like,
it was just like
no reaction
I'm
to this?
literally packing a suitcase to move out. What did the guy respond to you when he said, "I sacrificed my happiness"?
What did I say?
Yeah.
I was like, I think I just started crying. I was
Fuck.
just crying all the time
Yeah.
anyway, because I knew that I'd hurt him and I knew that I'd fucked it up. And like, it was this, situation where it's like, you feel like you want to be together, but you know it's not working. And you've been together for so long that it's like
13.
like a body part. You like,
Fuck,
it's like
yeah.
so crazy. And then it's, So, so I just like cried and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. But I just like, it stuck with me for so long, and I had it like ringing in my ears for so long. And then when I talked to him about it, he didn't even remember. And it was just so interesting how like for him, that was just, something that he didn't, it wasn't like this like, fundamental thing he had to get off his chest.
Sometimes
it was like
people
a dig.
say things not realizing the impact, but I don't think that's this case.
You don't think that's
what
his
did
case?
he
You think
say
he was
when you
lying?
re-brought it up? I don't think that he's lying, but I don't think that's something you can say and not understand that that's an impactful thing to say.
When I brought it up, he said he's also Greek, which makes a difference because of his like attitude. So he was kind of like, it was a difficult time. That's what he said,
Did that do anything for you?
Did it make it better?
Yeah. You're communicating something that you're harboring for a long time that kind of hurt you, and then you finally get this moment where you're like, hey, you said this and it hurt me.
No, it didn't really do anything except that I realized like, yeah, see, this is part of why we're not together
Yes,
anymore.
which
'Cause we
is
can't
cathartic.
communicate.
That
Yeah.
is a good
It is,
thing
yeah, it
because
is
that
a
just
good thing.
reinforces
Yeah.
I made the right choice.
Right.
That's great.
I guess so.
That's huge.
I guess so.
Because you can't control his behavior, decisions, or personality. But I think having a certain level of realization can have almost as much impact on the enticing incident.
Probably. But I also think that at the end of the day, because, you know, you talk about, I wish I hadn't said that, it's the things that really stick with you are people's actions, right? More than their
Yeah.
words. So like in that situation, even though I never said anything to him that I wish I wouldn't have said,
Yeah. Nothing?
no, I did stuff that I wish I wouldn't have done,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And that, because I think like words, that's easier also to like take back or to say like, okay, I didn't say it the way that I meant it, or it was, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But when you do something, you know, it's hard to
And the
like take that
it
back.
was a difficult time. Did that have more weight as far as being indicative of their behavior than the actual line that he originally said?
Of his behavior, you mean?
Yeah.
Are you just using the they to make sure that he's not transgender now?
No. Okay, this past boyfriend,
Yeah.
when he said, I sacrificed my happiness,
Yeah.
versus when he said it was a difficult time in response to you bringing it up, which
Yeah.
do you think held more weight emotionally to you?
Oh, when he said to me, I sacrificed my happiness for you,
Okay.
because that meant like he wasn't happy
Yeah.
while we were together.
Yeah.
And also it was like, wait, I didn't ask you to do that. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
I
Another
never
thing.
wanted you to do that.
Yeah.
If you
didn't
would have
have to
told
do
me
that.
earlier that you were doing that, I would have told you to not do that.
Yeah.
Stop doing that, you know? I think it was meant to, but again, I think I thought of it because what you said to your ex-girlfriend reminded me of that, because it's like this weird expression of hurt.
It's weird.
It's like a strange
And
way to
the
express.
motive is not good. The intention is bad.
Well, it's that you're just. I think it's interesting because you feel this and then like blah, it comes out,
Yeah.
and it is just meant to express like you hurt me and now I'm trying to hurt you
100%.
with words.
Yeah.
Somehow. But what you're saying actually doesn't make sense, because what you
Yeah.
said doesn't really make sense
No.
either. You know.
Yeah.
And what he said doesn't make sense either.
Yeah.
But it's a way to just express, to not maybe say, you fucking bitch, I hate you,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Yeah. It's
You
a
know.
softer version of communicating something that you're hoping for the same impact.
I think so. Yeah.
What is something that you did in that relationship?
I cheated on him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's
Fuck.
horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible, but, you know.
What is
human.
we don't have to keep talking about it, but what is cheating? You like made out, you had another relationship with another guy?
I was away, and I wrote a whole show about it. It's fine. This actually also falls into the category
It made me
of
feel better for
I
some
wish
reason
I
when it
wouldn't have
happened.
said that, because I actually wrote a whole show about this.
Okay.
So it's fine. I've talked about it in public. It was actually in Turkey when I went to shoot that movie. It was Stephen Baldwin. No,
Oh,
it was
that
not Stephen
motherfucker.
Baldwin.
Thank God it wasn't Alec. You
God. No, I was in Turkey and I was there for quite a while, and we were having problems in our relationship. And I don't know, this is a nervous laughter, not a real laughter.
No, I'm
And
all-
and I had this ridiculous affair with one of the guys who worked on the movie.
Kind of hot.
Couldn't speak English at all.
Even hotter.
Really ridiculous. And it sort of like threw a bomb into my entire life, because then I came back and I can't lie. So I couldn't hide it from him, and I didn't want to either. And then like, obviously, and he was Greek and the guy's Turkish, and that's not good, like historically.
Oh, shit.
And then it's
Oh, yeah. That's historically a big
not
deal.
that good.
Yeah.
And then, so then all of it blew up, but it was ending anyway. I think when that happens in a relationship, it's like a symptom, you know. And granted, just to say, I learned my lesson, and I would never do that again, ever.
Yeah.
You know, that's just not something I would do again. But I thought about things differently back then. I was like, you know, there's certain things you need for yourself as an individual, and it doesn't have anything to do with your relationship, you know, which is bullshit.
Yeah, I think I think sometimes we'll do things almost on a subconscious level.
Exactly.
Or even, let's say you're doing something to sabotage the relationship,
Yes.
but you're also doing it because you don't even want to be in it.
Exactly.
And this is a way of ending it
Totally.
indefinitely.
Completely. So that's why I called the show Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
Which is a pun on my last name. But because it felt like I was like burning everything down.
Yeah.
Right? Subconsciously, just exactly what you just said. And I wrote a show about it, like a one woman show about it, called Apocalypse Now. And I was and
the pun is growing on me even more.
Thank you. And this show, I started doing this show about 2 years after everything happened. So me and
that's not long.
Not that long. No, that's true. But me and my ex were like talking again, and you know, we never stopped talking. So we were like, okay. And I saw him, and I was going to be doing the show for a week in New York and then taking it to Edinburgh. Yeah. And he helped me move something. I had to move out of the apartment that we had been living in, that he had moved out of already. And, you know, my life was really a mess.
Yeah.
Although it had been 2 years, and I didn't really tell him what the show was about. And I changed his name in the show. But I put a lot of details in there.
What did you
true
change his name?
details.
What was the fake name?
Adonis.
Oh, wow. That's a great fake name.
No, but he has
Holy
a
shit.
really great real name. His real name is Odysseus. So I had to have an
Jesus
almost he's
fucking
Greek.
calendar
They have
man.
names
My
like that
God.
there. They have names. His best
Holy
friend
shit.
is called Napoleon. It's like
were they all
Napoleon
hung?
and Odysseus, of course.
God.
No, and so he helped me move something or something like that, and then he was like, "Oh, you're doing your show," and I was like, "Yeah, if you want to come see it, let me know." And I thought, if he tells me that he wants to come see it, then I would talk to him before and be like, "Listen, it's a show about what happened, and it's a comedy, so there are some liberties, and I do exaggerate some stuff to make it funny, you know, like it's a comedy, so you choose also what you." It's not like a fucking account of exactly what happened.
It's
So
theater.
So I do the show the first night, and I'm still like, don't even know if I can remember everything. And, you know, it's the first time. And I come out on stage, and I'm like, oh my God, there's my friend Maria. That's so cool that she made it. That's fucking awesome. Here we go. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so weird. What is Kostas doing here? Ori's my ex's friend. And then I look one seat over, and he's sitting there. So basically this entire show falls into a I wish I wouldn't have said that category.
And he never said that he was officially going.
He was
Holy
coming to
shit.
surprise me, to like support and surprise me. And he had no idea what the show was about.
My God.
No idea. And I was like, I was like, what the fuck do I do? What do I do? What do I do the show now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the show. I skipped some of the more graphic parts because the whole thing.
I think I would have done that if I was you. That's a split. That's a game time decision.
Of course, that's a game time decision. But I mean, it was either that or I would have had to be like, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I just fucking got an ulcer. I don't know. What do you do? What do you say?
Yeah.
Get off stage immediately.
Thank God you didn't say
an
ulcer.
ulcer. That'd be so weird. You're like, Yeah, we all have one.
Yeah.
We're in New York.
Yeah. It's the
Do
coffee.
the
It's
show.
really strong.
It was so bad. He was so mad. He didn't talk to me for like a while after.
Oh,
He was hurt. He
man.
was really hurt. So actually,
Fuck.
that is a good. I wish I wouldn't have said
That's a
that entire
great one.
1 hour show. He didn't. First of all, he was humiliated in front of his friend
Fuck.
because I talked about the fact that like we weren't having a lot of sex anymore, and I talked about like, you know, that like I made him into a character, right? And somebody who doesn't do comedy and doesn't write and stuff, which he's not in that world. He's like an architect and structural engineer and stuff. Like it's hard, I think, sometimes for people to understand when you tell a true story, but you make it funny. You turn certain people into characters, so you like dial up certain
Oh, yeah.
right personality traits, or you pick the thing.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain it to you,
Yeah.
obviously. But for people who are not in that sort of field, it's hard to understand a lot of times, right? Or like where the
Yeah.
line is. And so I, you know, really sort of like played up this side of him that was always sort of like, we'll see. I don't know. It's okay. Everything is okay. It doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not all he was, of course, but it was
Yeah.
funny that was
Yeah.
always his reaction. That's funny. And like the juxtaposition of that, and then me going to Turkey on this film set, and I was the lead in this movie. All of a sudden, I was like waiting tables and busting my ass and getting nowhere in New York. And out of nowhere, I get this offer to be the
Yeah.
lead in a horror film with Michael Madsen and Stephen Baldwin,
Yeah.
shooting in Turkey for 2 months. And
That's
I'm like,
insane.
what the fuck is happening? And I get there, and everybody treats me like a princess, and all the like Turkish
You're on
men
top of the
are
world.
like, yeah. And so that was the juxtaposition to the like, you know, life here with him and everything kind of being like,
Did he wait at the end of the show to see you?
He did. But I could tell he was like,
Was he like ready to rumble?
no, he's not that type of a person, but he was hurt. I could see he was hurt. He said something like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something like, you really, like, Adonis really, you like let him have it, or something like that. Something along those lines of
Yeah.
like, you really dragged Adonis through the mud or something,
Yeah.
right? But it was him, and it was obvious that it was him. And his friend was there. And
his friends all put the pieces together.
and it was still really painful because we'd been together for so long, and it was painful for me too.
Yeah.
But it was my way of dealing with it to make a comedy out of it.
Yeah.
But him sitting there and people laughing,
Yeah.
I think was really, really painful for him. You know?
It's a really tricky situation.
Yeah. So I really wish he would have told me he was coming to the show. And then
No,
of
no,
course
no,
I felt
no.
even worse because he was like this was supposed to be like a gesture of like love and like almost like reconciliation, you know, like it was a
Yeah.
gesture of like, I'm coming to see your show. I'm surprising you. I'm here. You know,
Yeah.
I care. I want to see you. Ugh,
Yeah.
makes me feel terrible talking about it.
But I completely get where you're coming from. Your intention was not evil,
No.
and it was completely unexpected, and you actually had a plan to resolve the potential conflict, but unfortunately, a surprise is a surprise.
Yeah.
You had an hour show. How much did you cut out?
I just skipped like there was some parts in there that was pretty graphic because this Turkish guy then sort of like lost his mind a little bit and like kind of started stalking me a little bit.
Okay.
And
Was he in the audience too? My God! He was like, I really like how you played me up.
he's like, here.
Yes,
No, he
that's
was in
what-
Turkey. Luckily. He like sent me these videos of him.
Like nudes?
No, like worse. I don't know
Worse?
why
The
it was.
insides of
No,
his
he like
body.
sent me videos of him jerking off, and then he sent me videos. He was like, I've been jerking off so much that I'm bleeding. It's so bad. I'm
that
so
is
sorry.
worse.
Please cut this out or
No.
don't. I don't know, but
I
it's
want
so
pictures.
terrible.
I want this footage. Wait, if he sent you videos of him jerking off, could you see blood on his dick?
No, he didn't send me the pictures with the blood, but he would like send me videos, and then he'd be like, and he couldn't speak English, so it was like all Google Translate
Oh my
stuff, and it
God,
was so
yeah.
weird. And then I was like, stop. And then the funniest thing was
No
he sent
captions.
me, yeah, exactly. He sent me a German poem, like a well-known German poem, and said that he had written it for me.
Oh, that's so dope. Oh, that's like a Gibran move. I've never done that, ladies.
He's like, baby, I write this for you. And I was like,
Wow, you're
this is Goethe. You didn't write that. And he's like, I write it for you. And then I was like,
learned
no, you
German
didn't.
for you.
Yeah. I was like, no, you didn't. And then he got really mad. And he was like, and then of course, like he started calling me a bitch and that I'm horrible and stuff. And I was like, but I skipped those parts. And I skipped the parts where like there was like a whole bit about like how
But
amazing
those
sex
parts
was.
don't seem like it would be as hurtful to what
He doesn't want to hear about like another guy sending me videos of himself jerking off, and
But you didn't want it. It was unsolicited.
I know, but
which makes it
still.
easier.
but
to
it's
digest.
all that is like the tail end, and before that, I skipped the parts where I talk about like anything that had to do
Yeah.
with sex and that guy.
Wow.
Yeah, horrible.
And you guys made up eventually.
We did. I mean, it wasn't like we fell out after that either. He just like didn't really talk to me for a while. He was really hurt. I could tell he was really hurt, and I apologized to him a lot.
That night or like later?
All the
or both?
time.
Okay.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
I think the fact that you have, I mean, I think this is almost a reoccurring thing on this podcast when people share stories. Most of the people I've interviewed or not interviewed, hung out with, people have genuine emotion and empathy. Because I
Yeah,
meet
but-
people, or it seems like I meet people, maybe I don't know them as well, or maybe I choose not to let them in my circle, that are way more callous. Or they don't seem to express remorse for their behavior in situations. Do you know what I mean?
But aren't those people like, don't they have a name? Like sociopath?
Assholes.
Yeah.
Men. Am
Yeah,
I right,
exactly.
ladies?
Bros.
Fuck you, bitch. No, I'm just and also you got a chance to communicate that to him.
I know, but you know what? I think also like apologies are fine and that's good and it's nice to apologize, but that's for you also. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're lightening the load of your own guilt.
Yeah.
But if it's genuine, dude, apologies on the if someone apologizes to me, that goes a long way.
It does go
Honestly,
a long
even
way.
sometimes it's not even the emotion that they're communicating, it's the fact that they have awareness.
Right.
It's
That's
just
true.
like, okay,
That's
because
true.
I'm not crazy then.
That's true.
You noticed that, and I thought that was bad,
That's
and you're
true.
noticing that, and you're saying that to me, and almost that's enough for me to just be like, all right, cool.
What is true is that I feel like not a lot of people are good at apologizing or able to. I'm very like I apologize a lot. Like I'm very free. I'm
do that
very
too.
okay with being wrong. I feel
do that
like
a lot too.
I'm
I
just
don't like
never
that,
wrong.
though.
You don't like what? But I'm not talking about like, oh, sorry, can I sit here? Sorry, can I touch
Okay,
this
yeah,
pillow?
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like genuine apologies.
Yeah. I apologize pretty often, but there are certain things where if it's so pronounced the situation and it's important for me to not apologize.
Yeah, that's
Because I'm
different.
like, no. You stabbed me and I
Right.
removed the knife.
Right. That's different.
For the most part, I generally apologize
Yeah.
a little often. Where are we on?
Hour 21.
What time is it?
5:35.
Okay. Lucie, we really got into shit.
We did. We did.
Thank you for sharing all that with me.
Yeah. Probably regret it.
I don't even know what I said. I don't even know if I can say that.
I blacked out. Say
Is that
what?
canceling?
What?
What you said
You
to the
guys are
girl?
like the cancel experts.
What you said to
Yeah.
the girl? No, that's not canceling.
Wait, had you said anything like before about the cousin, like to her?
I think I communicated it. Because that was a thing for me. It's like, why do I feel like I'm competing as your boyfriend with your cousin? I don't want to feel that.
What would she say then when you said that? Like, what was her response? Did she defend it?
She just
She's
be
like,
like,
I'm
well,
Mormon.
he looks better.
Looks
What's
better.
canceled for that? It's her.
It's the cousin. Hello. Is she
It was
married
just
to her
a
cousin
weird-
now?
No. She's married. The good thing about time is that people look better less.
But you were like in your 20s, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was in love with that. That was my first relationship.
Your first love?
Just first everything.
First everything.
Yeah, I'm a late bloomer. Yeah, lost the V card. I have a whole story about it on stage.
Okay, great. I'll book a ticket.
Yeah,
To find
I
out
mean, we'll be
the
on the
V-card
same
story.
show. Yeah, I'll open for Apocalypse.
Nice.
Now. No, but she's doing good. I liked her as a person. I have no issues with her.
Yeah.
I don't think she has any issues with me prior to the release of this podcast.
Right, exactly.
But
yeah.
but yeah,
That's the whole point.
you know, sometimes we'll talk about things and then I'll say things that I forgot about, but it's actually helpful for me. This happened with Ismail Lutfi because I was remembering a conflict from the past and I was like, oh fuck, I haven't thought about that. But me communicating out loud was actually beneficial.
Like cathartic, you mean?
Cathartic, and just me, when you mature past a situation, you look back at it with a different pair of eyes. And you're like, oh, I understand how I was and at that point in my life and
Yeah.
how they were and how that evolved. Hopefully, maybe, I know you were sharing some vulnerable stuff. I hope maybe it was beneficial in a way.
Yeah.
Absolutely not, Gibran. You ruined my life.
It was beneficial because I should do that show again.
It sounds.
No, I'm kidding.
If you do that show
It's
again, I think
always
you should
good.
incorporate, or if you're writing,
Incorporate
this
a plug for the podcast.
Yes, for sure. But having this post theater scene,
Right, with
is
him there.
incredibly high stakes. That's
Yeah.
like, fuck, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Okay, I should end the podcast. Listen, everyone. Complete change of tone and pace. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to Why Did I Say That with Gibran Salim. I'm Gibran Salim. If you don't follow us, I don't know how you're watching this, but if you follow us, write a review, leave a review. That's what all the podcast hosts say. Leave a review. Make sure it's positive. Patreon for exclusive stuff. And Lucy, would you like to promote anything?
Come see Schmooze if you're in New York.
Great show. I've been on it. East
Yeah.
Village.
Great show, and follow me for other stuff.
At
You Love Lucy on
You
Instagram.
Love Lucy. You is in the letter U.
Yep.
Not Y-O-U. You Love Lucy. We'll
Yep.
include all your details and the descriptions of the stuff. I'm at Gibran Salim. And again, our PA, Sophia Mendoza, Ben Singer, a.k.a. Benjamin Singer. There's no a.k.a. That's just a longer version. Anyways. You guys are great. Thank you for coming, Lucy.
Thank you
and
for
thank
having
you,
me.
everyone, for watching. And thank you guys for helping out. Good night. Good night.